Okay. I'm going to demo some foundation behaviors for Mr. Goose. What we do is we have our bowl of food, and we just work for kibbles. We are aiming for, I know Goose has his sit. We're going to continue to polish on the sit, and we want a nice square sit. So we want both rear butt cheeks looking symmetrical under his fuzz. And whenever you're in the front position, we want both feet tucked up nice underneath them. And hopefully symmetrical. I mean, most dogs aren't going to do it when you want them to, but at least if we can try rewarding him for the good ones. Now, in any position also, it's going to be hard for you because you're starting from the ground up, but we are aiming for duration. So if he's in a sit, that's the best place to start because he knows that behavior. So you're just going to teach him to sit in that position and wait 3 to 5 seconds. Stillness is the hardest thing to practice. Down is going to be the next hardest thing for him. So with down, you usually have a high value treat at first. And you can start in the sit position or start in the stand, but you're going to try to lure them into the down. Now in the beginning, for him, he's going to roach his back. He's going to avoid going down in. Just hold him out and make sure it's a high value item. Don't give him the cookie until elbows touch the floor. So do it from the side. Here. Sit. Good. So they have this behavior. Also, I want to try to practice your eye early. When we're feeding, we always want to try to keep their spine nice and straight. There, that's a little bit better. So even when they're in the sit, we don't want to be rubbernecking them up and down. We want to try to keep the head, the neck, and the spine straight. Yeah, what do you think? All right, so sit and the down. In either behavior, when he starts to offer the behavior regularly, we want to have a little bit of duration, so 3 to 5 seconds. You're going to get a fraction of a second in the beginning, and that's perfectly okay. That's why they're foundation behaviors. They're boring, but they're necessary. The next one that we like to do is a stand, which, you know, a lot of pet dogs are going to do it on their own. Sit. Get off me. Sit. Best way I taught it is from a sit. And then there's 2 things you can do. You can lower them up into the stand with a treat. And I would sometimes just keep my abdomen here so they can't creep forward. Woo-hoo. Another cool way of doing it is shoving the food in their face. So you have the food, and I'm going to aim for between her front legs. We're going to go down and up. And they will hopefully pop their little legs back. Now that might be a little intrusive for dogs like Goose that have some pressure issues. So we're going to have to play around with how to make these positive for him without putting too much pressure on him and causing him to shut down. So with a new behavior, I would have a high value item like cheese. Perfectly okay. For behaviors he already knows how to do, I would start going to his kibble or lower value items because those are the behaviors that he's going to be offering a lot and you're going to be giving him a lot of rewards. So we don't want it to be too high value. Save that for the special ones. So we've got a sit, a down, and a stand. The down and the stand you have to start from scratch. We're going to polish those behaviors before I see you next. Another thing, foundation behavior. 2 feet on an object. We like to use these little food bowls, but I noticed you have plenty of yoga blocks at home, and for Goose's size, that would probably be sufficient. But 2 feet on an item. We're definitely going to lure in the beginning. So, Pistol, come here. So for a new dog, you may just use your food and have them trip over the bucket. Good job. Now she knows how to do this, so we're making it look unfair. But then we feed from the position and we don't release the reward until we're happy with it. Again, try to have a straight spine right now, but right now 2 feet on the bucket, 1 foot on the bucket, perfectly okay. A couple of other things I wanted to clarify for you that will make the training a little bit easier is having a marker word which is the word you say right before food comes that they did the task correctly. And it doesn't have to be an elaborate task. It could be a simple behavior. So, 2 feet up. Yes. My word is yes. It's always before a cookie is removed. Get it. Target. Yes. Good job. What it might look like for your basic behaviors is... Nope, we're not doing that anymore. Down. Down. Oh, we can't do it on TV. Nope. Yes. For more technical behaviors, sit. Sit. Yes. 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 Good. So, when you're teaching a new behavior, your marker word can be ishkabibble. It does not matter what it is, so long as you use it every time and that the word precedes the reward. So a lot of folks will use, good boy, good puppy, which is fine. We're using that word most of the day, so it lowers the value of the word. And when you decide what your word is going to be, have it try to be one syllable, concise, and something you're not going to constantly be saying in their regular conversation. And we want to load the marker every once in a while. So a day you don't do any training, say the word right before you put down the bowl of kibble, excuse me. Or we can say yes. Good. Yes. 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 Loading the clicker. The yes word means food is always coming, or a reward. It could be a ball, but that's another chapter. So I don't expect you to have the marker word down, but just keep in mind that whenever we're teaching something, we do want it to be short and sweet. It doesn't even have to be a clicker. A word that is concise, one syllable, and easy for you to remember. If we make it too challenging or another language, a lot of us forget. I can't do multiple languages because I'll confuse the dogs. And then you're going to use a lot of luring. So this is another foundation behavior that really you can practice. Teach him to follow your hand around without biting it, and then you reward it after a decent amount of challenge. Good girl. So luring is helpful in practicing it because you can start to lure them into new behaviors based on how they understand it. And this is what I do with every baby puppy when I bring home, is we will just use a few handfuls of food and lure, have them follow it around our body, around the room. With Goose, the items that we're going to be playing with, we want them to be size appropriate. So with anything he's putting 2 feet on in the beginning right now, it shouldn't be higher than his elbow height, okay? That is actually very advanced, and I know he can probably do it, but kind of like humans in fitness, we want to practice the basic foundation behaviors, get them primed, get them polished, and then we're going to add on to them. Because if he can't maintain a sit-stay, we're certainly not going to be putting him on a wobbly item or on something really high off the ground, because he might hurt himself. Good girl. All right, that's a wrap.